Hello there, this is Rodel. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will share to you all about circles. So please stay tuned, I'll be right back.
What are conic sections? These are simply the intersections of a plane and a cone. When a cone is sliced by a plane at different angles, different curves are produced. To illustrate, here is a double knot right circular cone. Now, slicing it at different angles, you will notice that we have come up with 4 different sections: the ellipse, the circle, the parabola, and the hyperbola. An ellipse is produced when the cutting plane is not parallel to the base of the cone. A circle is produced when the cutting plane is parallel to the base of the cone. A parabola is produced when the cutting plane is parallel to the slant height of the cone. Lastly, hyperbola is produced when the cutting plane is not parallel to the slant height and passes through the upper and the lower bases of the cone. Now, since these topics require considerable amount of time, we will just limit our discussion with circles. Now, what is a circle? How do we define a circle in geometry? A circle is the set of all points on the plane equally distant from a fixed point called the center. The distance from the center to any point on the circle is called the radius. The standard equation of the circle is given by quantity x minus h squared plus quantity y minus k squared equals r squared, where hk is the center and r is the radius. To get the value of our h and k, we simply equate both factors to 0. Or you may simply get the opposite sign of your h and k in the equation. Sometimes, the equation of the circle is given in the general form: x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. Now, let us observe how these formulas are applied. Example number 1. Identify the center and the radius of the circle, whose equation is quantity x minus 2 squared plus quantity y plus 3 squared equals 25. Then graph. Solution: we look first for the value of our h and k. Now, there is no problem if the given equation is written in the standard form, because we can immediately identify the value of our h and k. But take note, we need to get the opposite sign of our h and k. So negative 2 becomes positive 2 and positive 3 becomes negative 3. Negative 2 in the equation means the value of our h is positive 2, and the value of positive 3 in the equation means the value of our k is negative 3. Next, to get the value of our r, we take the value of r squared, which is 25. Now, to get the value of r, we simply get the square root of both sides of the equation. So we get the square root of r squared equals the square root of 25. So the value of our r is 5. Therefore, the center of our circle is at point positive 2 and negative 3, and the length of our radius is 5 units. Now we are ready to graph. So how do we graph our circle? First, we locate the center using its coordinates. In the x-axis, let us locate positive 2. In the y-axis, let us locate negative 3. So where do the coordinates meet? There you are. Now, the next thing to do is to locate at least 4 points on the circle. Since our radius is 5 units, we will count 5 units from our center. Now, let us draw our circle by connecting all the dots. So there you have it. We now have our circle with center positive 2 and negative 3 and radius of 5 units. Very simple, right? Let us have another example. Example number 2. Identify the center and the radius of the circle whose equation is x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus 4y minus 3 equals 0. Then graph. Solution. Step 1. Copy the given. Next, rearrange the term so that similar variables are next to each other. And then, we isolate the constant. Next, group the terms with similar variables. Next step, make each quantity a perfect square trinomial. How do we do that? Simply take the coefficient of the second term and then divide it by 2. So negative 6 divided by 2, so we have negative 3. After that, we square the result. So negative 3 squared equals 9. So we add positive 9 to complete our first perfect square trinomial. We will do the same on the other quantity. So again, we take the value of the second term and then we divide it by 2. So negative 4 divided by 2 is equals to negative 2. Then we square it. Negative 2 squared is equals to positive 4. Therefore, we will add positive 4 to complete our second perfect square trinomial. Copy the constant. Now, since we have added positive 9 and positive 4 to the left-hand side of our equation, we will do the same to the other side to keep our equation balanced. Next, we factor our perfect trinomial square. So x squared minus 6x plus 9 can also be written as x minus 3 times x minus 3. And y squared minus 4y plus 4 can also be written as y minus 2 times y minus 2. Now, how did we get this? Simply get the square root of x squared and 9, and then follow the sign of the middle term. The same thing with the other quantity. We get the square root of y squared and positive 4, and then we take the sign of the middle term. Last step, write the factors as square of binomials. X minus 3 times x minus 3 can simply be written as x minus 3 squared. And y minus 2 times y minus 2 can also be written as y minus 2 squared. Presto! You now have your equation written in the standard form. Now you can identify now your center and your radius. So looking at our equation, we understand that the center is at positive 3 and positive 2. And our radius is 4 units. Now we are ready to graph. Again, we locate first our center. X coordinate is positive 3 and the y coordinate is positive 2. Locate where they meet. There you are. Now, using our radius, Let us identify 4 points on the circle. Connect all the points. There you have it. Your circle with center at point 3 and 2 and with radius of 4 units. Let us have another example for you to master the steps. Identify the center and the radius of the circle whose equation is given by x squared plus y squared minus 8x minus 10y plus 32 equals 0. Then graph. Solution. Again, step 1, copy the given. Step 2, rearrange the terms with same variables next to each other. Then, isolate the constant. Next step, we group the terms with similar variables. Next step, we complete the perfect square trinomial. We do the same on the other quantity. Copy the constant. Now, just as we did with our example number 2, we need to balance our equation. Get the sum. So we have positive 9. Next, we factor our perfect square trinomial. After that, we write the factors as square of binomials. Therefore, our center is at point positive 4 and positive 5. And our radius is 3 units. Let us now graph our circle. Again, we locate first our center. The x-coordinate is positive 4. The y-coordinate is positive 5. Locate the center. Now, using our radius of 3 units, let us identify 4 points in our circle. Connect all the dots. Okay, we're done. We now have our circle with center 4 and 5 and with radius of 3 units. Let us now have our last example. Find the general equation of the circle whose center is at point -3 and 4 and with radius of 6 units. In this problem, what is being asked is the general form of the equation. But we will begin our solution by writing first in the standard form using the given coordinates of the center and the radius. Let us now write our equation in the standard form. So we have quantity x plus 3 squared plus quantity y minus 4 squared equals 6 squared. We simply substitute the value of our h and our k to the equation. So negative 3 becomes positive 3 and positive 4 becomes negative 4 in the equation. Likewise, we simply substitute the value of our r, which is 6, to the equation. That is why we have 6 squared. After that, the next thing to do is to expand each of the binomial squares in order to remove the grouping symbols. How do we do that? Simply follow these 3 steps. Square the first term of your binomial. So x times x, you have x squared. Next, multiply the first term and the second term, and then multiply it by 2. So x times 3 times 2, we have positive 6x. Last step, we square the last term. So 3 squared is equal to positive 9. We will do the same on the other quantity. Square the first term. So y times y, you have y squared. Next, we multiply the first term and the second term, and then we multiply it by 2. So y times negative 4 times 2 equals negative 8y. Last step, we square the last term. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. After simplifying the left side of our equation, we get the square of our radius. Now, we can remove our grouping symbols. Next, add all of the constants. Last step, rearrange according to the general form x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. Therefore, the general equation of the circle is x squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 8y minus 11 equals 0. Okay, that's it. So we will just end up here. I hope you were able to follow the steps. It's a bit complicated, but it can be mastered. Just keep practicing. I hope this video was helpful. Now, if you're still new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you all on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!